You found the WMIX Saturday Sports Show on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com. Cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. The Saturday Sports Show has been recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the top radio programs in the state. That means the very best mix of local sports content is right here. From the powerhouse on Broadway, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
And good morning. Glad to have you with us another Saturday morning on the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Oh, busy lineup for you today. We'll talk Mount Vernon Rams baseball with head coach Tim Holloway. Lance Bolt, Lady Rams softball will stop by. Pretty busy lineup, as we said. Mike Cheek, Pinckneyville Lady Panthers softball. They got a big win this week over the Nashville Hornets, the defending 2A state champs. Eric Widges, athletic director at Waltonville High School. We'll talk with him about the Waltonville Invitational going on today, both baseball and softball in southwestern Jefferson County. And then a guy who has quickly emerged as one of my favorites, not that everybody who appears on the show is not one of my favorites, but Jay Thompson, always a classic interview. We'll talk Harrisburg Bulldogs baseball with Jay Thompson. Rams and Bulldogs will battle on Wednesday night at Rent-One Park. Mike Carrer of the Woodlawn Cardinals will talk Cardinal baseball. We'll also talk with Chad Malavi, head coach of Nashville, and then John Shadowins will stop by to talk SVW track. So there you go, loaded lineup today, DC.
Yes, very nice lineup, very nice group of people from different sports, softball, baseball, track, to name a few. We're going to cover the county, cover the area a little bit, and upcoming Mount Vernon opponents as well.
Well, and it should be a great Saturday sports show for you. Of course, you're going to notice kind of a different theme today in terms of our music today. That's, to me, the most special aspect of this show outside of our content, obviously, is our bump music. That's the music we come back with from a commercial break, and so we have a special theme today. You'll probably be able to guess it with the very first commercial break. So, you know what? It'll be a fun day. We have our WMIX Sports social media question of the week coming up. We ready to release that yet?
It's posted now.
What is it?
This week's question is, in line with the pop cultural phenom WrestleMania, who is or was your favorite WWE professional wrestler of all time?
Huh. I'm going to have to think on that. But I know who I have a good guess, not even a guess. I have a feeling as to who my all-time favorite is, but that'll be a good one. Who is your favorite sports entertainer of all time? WWE, WWF. It's not a copyright violation for us to say that, but who is your favorite? You can post it online at Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Hit us up on the Twitterverse at WMIX Sports. And if it happens to be a random one, or one so great that's not common, of course, we'll probably read most of the answers on the air at some point today, but it should be a fun one. It's always a fun weekend. It's WrestleMania weekend. Of course, that might give you a hint as to our bump music today. It should be a great day here on the Saturday Sports Show. Again, Tim Holloway, Mount Vernon Rams baseball, Lance Bolt, Lady Rams softball, Mike Cheek, of course, will stop by. Pinckneyville Lady Panthers softball. We'll have Waltonville Athletic Director Eric Widges. Jay Thompson of Harrisburg Bulldogs baseball. We'll talk Woodlawn Cardinals baseball with Mike Carrer. Nashville Hornets baseball with Chad Malavi. And then Cesar-Valera Waltonville Devils track with John Shadowin. Should be a great lineup for you today. We hope you'll stay tuned and stick around. We'll talk Mount Vernon Rams baseball, of course, in just a moment. The Rams, meanwhile, went 3-1 this week. You heard every game on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Suffered their first conference loss since 2011 on Thursday against Carbondale. Rebounded with a nice win yesterday against the Belleville East Lancers. 7-2 was your final on that one. The Rams improved to 11-5. We're going to talk about that with Rams head coach Tim Holloway after the break. Speaking of which, we need to take a quick one. This is the Saturday Sports Show powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We're back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
It's hard not to keep dreaming about all the fun that lies ahead in the summer months. Hi, Roy Schmidt, Dodge Chrysler Jeep dealer at King City Chrysler, Mount Vernon. Maybe you need a new Chrysler Town & Country before you head on to a summer vacation. Or perhaps you should look at a new Dodge Grand Caravan before loading up the kids for that next excursion. Right now you can save $2,750 on your new minivan with $2,000 in customer cash plus an owner loyalty discount of $750. Or qualified buyers can choose 0% financing for 60 months. Your summer getaways and family adventures just became a lot easier with these amazing incentives on the Dodge Grand Caravan and Chrysler Town & Country. King City Chrysler has over 25 minivans in stock just for you. Browse our inventory online at kingcitychrysler.com or see one of our associates at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois.
I'm John Rooney. Every time I get behind the microphone to describe the action, I know I'm talking to the greatest fans in the game. From Harry Carey to Jack Buck and my partner Mike Shannon, the history of the Cardinals on the radio runs deep. That tradition continues today. Listen game after game right here for St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
DeJesus throw to the plate. There's a play. Save!
Cardinals radio, only in...
It's Cardinal baseball on 50,000 watt, 94.1 WMIX.
I know you've heard about mortgage rates being all-time lows, but have you done anything about it yet? Hi, I'm Rick Pigg, mortgage lender at Community First Bank. There's never been a better time at buying a home or refinancing an existing mortgage. The sooner you act, the more you save, and we'll be there to help you through every step of the way. For more information, visit us at comfirstbank.net or stop by one of our 5 locations.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Huh. How's that not a bumper music in Rams baseball? That's what
there we go. Right. Saturday Sports Show. WMIX and WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Very proud to welcome our next guest to the program. First guest of the day, actually. He's Mount Vernon Rams baseball coach Tim Holloway. His team, a very impressive 11-5 on the year. Wins against Marion, West Frankfort, and Belleville East this week. Tim Holloway, good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
You know what? A great morning. A big win yesterday against a tough 4A school in the Belleville East. Lancers 7-2 was the final in that one. I know some disappointment in the week, but all in all, going 3-1 in a 4-game week, not too shabby for Mount Vernon Rams baseball.
Not bad, not bad. Nothing we can do about it now except just keep on getting better and keep plugging away. We'd like to have it back, but that's not the way to go. So, if we take care of business, we're still going to have a shot at that conference. By no means are we out of it.
Well, no, you're not out of it. A win on Tuesday at Marion will start with there going back during the week, and a big effort on the bump by Brock Fulkerson helped get you that shutout victory on Tuesday.
Very well played game Tuesday. That was fun to watch. Brock was on. He's got a lot of movement. He was locating, making it real tough on Marion kids to hit, and our defense played really well. It was just a good all-around game. We had good base running. We were aggressive, made good decisions, and took advantage of our opportunities. And then the big blow came. Jake Pike, who's been hitting the ball hard every at bat. It seems like the line drive shot for a 3-run homer.
Talking about the at bats, and you go from Marion to West Frankfort, and you get a nice win there. Kind of a tweener game, obviously between the conference games, but the bats seem to be breaking up and getting hits or doing things top to bottom in order. You're not getting one or two guys. It seems that everybody plugged in the lineups having good at bats, whether they get a hit or not at this point in the season so far.
Yeah, so far it's still going good in that aspect. Guys are doing a good job. I thought yesterday we had the same thing. And, we talk a lot about 2-out RBI. And Clayton Reeves came through with a big one there in the first. We get down 1. He gets a 3 RBI double with 2 outs, and that's huge. It seems like it always comes down to 2-out hit. You finally get guys in scoring position with 2 outs. You got to have those big hits. And unfortunately, we didn't get those at times the day before. But when we can do that and put our defensive pitching together like we did, then we're a pretty solid team.
And speaking of team, following Rams baseball, thankfully doing every game, we get to see a lot of baseball. We see quite a few other teams, obviously. And one thing that I've taken away, especially these past few years going on the road with you guys, is that not every team can actually say that they're a team. I mean, so many teams don't have the luxury of one guy picking another guy up maybe after an error or coming back with a big at-bat after making an error defensively. What makes the Rams such a cohesive unit?
I think it's a mentality. Number one, we have good players, so we have good kids. But the mentality is always, it's NP. NP is simple, but it's negative to positive, and you're going to have bad moments. Anybody that understands the game, there's going to be mistakes, whether it's a bad at-bat, an error, a base running mistake is part of the game, but you turn that negative into a positive somehow, some way, and get it off your mind, and don't carry the mental brick with you until you're next to batter into the field. And our guys kind of bought into that and pick each other up. And, if somebody goes down right now, we got a kid hurt, we got our number 1 or 1A or 1B, whatever you want to call him, Tyler Ellis, is out. And we've had other guys step up on the mound, Matt Williamsville yesterday. And, Ryan Campbell's a sophomore, and he comes in and makes a great play, and he's right there with our other guys. But I think it's just that these guys like each other. They've got character, and that sure makes a big difference.
Speaking of getting up and picking each other up, this was on, obviously Thursday, Carbondale was what it was. I thought yesterday could have been one of those games where it's like, okay, we got beat, conference loss, tough loss on Thursday, playing a bigger school, team we lost to last year. Could have been one of those moments for your team to say, chuck it, let's go to the weekend. But your team came out and really jumped on Belleville East early. Credit to you and your staff and your team for having the mental toughness to shake off a tough loss and come back and get a big win against a bigger non-conference school.
It was a good day, and it all starts on the mound. After the game in Carbondale, I didn't know what was going to happen because we're down our staff. We had a lot of guys still this week, and Trevor Flo said, I want the ball. I'm good. I feel good. And that's huge. So we got a senior that wants the ball, and we've got other guys that are wanting the ball that feel good, and their preparation has allowed them to do that. But we had a great game from the mound yesterday with Trevor and Tyler. Pound the zone. Tyler had 3 pitches for strikes, keeping those guys off balance. You can't just throw it fastballs down the pipe to them because they're going to crush it. And they hit the ball hard, but with our park, we feel like we can throw strikes, keep the ball down. We got a chance.
Well, and taking a look at this Rams team and talking about some of the players, of course, you talk about Trevor Flota yesterday. A guy that I have noticed coming on, especially since the East Peoria doubleheader and has pitched very effectively for you, is the junior Tyler Morgan. How important is it to have guys like that you can go to that you know are going to step up time in and time out?
Well, that's what we've always used those non-conference games for. A lot of times it may be a junior or even a sophomore in some years where they can get their feet wet. Sometimes they're thrown out there against the big boys, but with our defense, if you can throw strikes, and what happens is if you do throw well against a good team like that, I'd say that kid's feeling really good right now, and he got a lot of confidence yesterday throwing against the Belleville East as opposed to maybe another team not of their quality. But yeah, it hurts sometimes to lose those teams, but if you do get a good win, it can really boost you and get you going the right direction. I hope that happens with him.
Speaking of call-ups, you had a call-up from the AAA high school system yesterday. Mr. Campbell came up and played shortstop, and I thought for a first varsity look that he did some things well yesterday to give you an opportunity to see him at the varsity level.
Ryan's going to be a player, and there's no doubt about that. And in our system, we do call it the minor leagues. We've got some single-A, double A. He is definitely a triple-A. He's ready. On another year, we didn't have 3 middle infielders that were seniors that were very, very good, then he would be there. He's ready right now. But we're looking forward to having him in the future. There's some other guys at that level that are doing a good job, and it's nice to be able to plug him in there. He makes a tough play in the hole. He does everything right, works hard, and has some good qualities to him that we're looking forward to.
So is that a DL retroactive to about 3 or 4 days ago, or how does that all work here with this bring-up?
Well, yeah, it was, Coach, I'm ill. I can't be there. Hey, buddy, grab your shirt. Let's go. That's what that was.
Hey, and this week you get a few days off, which I think is needed at this point to give your guys, especially the pitchers, a rest. And you go in the next week. It's another busy week. A tough Mascoutah team on Tuesday at home. Harrisburg on the road at Rent 1. Opportunity to play down there at Marion on Wednesday. Cahokia on Thursday. And then a doubleheader with St. Anthony allegedly on Saturday. I say allegedly after last year. But defending Class 1A state champs, this is a brutal week here with these teams because there's not a bad team in a bunch this week upcoming for your team.
Well, we've had some other. There's a lot of weeks like that where there's not a bad team, but you look forward. That's what gets us going. At least for me, I know I enjoy it, and I think our kids enjoy it. They enjoyed it yesterday, so that really challenged you. And then if you do come out on top and play well, it gets you a lot of confidence. So Mascoutah's pretty good. They've got a real good number 1, and then their other guy, they've got an all-stater from New Mexico that moved in with real good velocity movement. So we're looking forward to that one. Of course, everybody knows Harrisburg's got a good team. And St. Anthony's 2A this year, but yes, they did win the 1A state title. They just shut out Mattoon. I talked to Mattoon's coach the other day, so they've got a kid going to Northern Illinois, mid-80s pitcher who we'll probably see. So it's going to be a good week, so we're looking forward to that.
Tim, I noticed, and you guys had talked about this to us prior in the season. You guys are going to honor on Thursday the Special Olympics state champion Mount Vernon Rams, allowing them to throw out the first pitch, a nice little ceremony. And Thursday against Cahokia, about 4:15, I believe, is when you're going to do that. That's quite an honorable thing that the Rams baseball team is doing to honor a team that went so far.
Well, we see those guys in the hallway, and they're our buddies. And Coach McClure came up with the idea, and I thought it'd be great. So I think they're excited about it, and we're looking forward to it. We're hoping we have good weather. If not, we'll do it another day. But I think it's an important thing, and they're sure they always come by with a smile on their face. So we're looking forward to having them.
All right, final question. I know this is always. I know you always love this. This one's going to go maybe the Wayback Machine, maybe something else, we don't know. But anyway, with WrestleMania tomorrow night, the 29th annual, we asked today, who is or was your favorite WWE professional wrestler of all time?
Well, one, believe it or not, I never watched wrestling as a kid.
Okay.
But I will tell you this. When I went over to SIUE on a visit, there was a guy, I believe his name was Paul White.
Yep.
He was there the year before. Paul White ended up being one of the main guys. You guys would know his name, the Giant.
Yeah. Now the Big Show.
He played basketball over there. He's 7'1", that big old monster. That's the only guy that I know. I knew Hulk Hogan, and there was another big old hairy guy back in the day, George the Animal Steel or something.
Yes.
Yes.
Guys, I'm not into it. I couldn't tell you. Those are about the only three I know.
But that is a random enough answer to be outstanding. So we appreciate you for actually taking the time to answer it and not actually call us mouth-breathing hill jacks or anything like that. So
no, it's all good. It just wasn't my thing. I don't know.
Tim, good luck to the Rams this week. We look forward to having all of your games on again.
All right, guys.
That's Tim Holloway, head coach of Rams baseball, and that was randomly amazing. That's why I love that question.
That's about the time the Big Show, the Giant Paul White, was running around over there at the SIUE, and I believe that
so what was the deal
Reed
with
Shipley
that?
Was over there.
Yeah,
well, he started at Wichita.
That was the whole deal. That's
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Paul White started at Wichita State, and then didn't make it out there, and came back to SIUE and played, and then ended up, as we know him, in WCW. He walked in one night actually came out from under the ring as an entrant, and then came through the ring mat, and then after that was the Giant in WCW, then of course trademarks and everything else, showed up in WWE as the Big Show. He's been there probably 10 or 11, 12 years now already.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre '99 is when he threw Steve Austin or Vince McMahon, I don't recall which, through the steel cage. Like not the steel cage, not even really a cage.
Fake cage.
But the blue fence type thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That you never see anymore. Because the cage comes out, it surrounds the ring, and blah, blah, blah. But this one came over like the ropes. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's all good. I don't have to explain it to you.
There's people that know what we're talking about out there.
And that is all that matters. So you can answer that question if you choose. We hope you do on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Or hit us up on the Twitterverse. We are at WMIX Sports. WMIXsports.com. It's the Saturday Sports Show today. Still plenty more action to come as we'll talk with Lance Bolt, Lady Rams softball, Mike Cheek, Pinckneyville Lady Panthers softball, and Eric Widges to come here in this 8 o'clock hour. We'll talk the Waltonville Invitational, baseball and softball today at Waltonville High School. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with Lance Bolt about Lady Rams softball this week. We got to see them in action with a win on Monday. And, of course, they hit South 7 Conference play this week as well. We'll talk with Coach Bolt about all of that and for Shout Out of the Week upcoming here on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
You'll notice right away that Second Chance Auto doesn't depend on fancy sales gimmicks. Instead, you'll only find honest deals with no credit checks and instant approval. Take your income tax rebate and use it on the great quality used vehicle you really want. Cars, trucks, minivans, along with small, mid-size, and full-size SUVs. Most priced under $10,000 with 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty. Family owned for over 32 years, serving the families in our region. Located on Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 244-4582. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois proudly welcomes Dr. Brian Steinke to their medical staff. Dr. Steinke earned his medical degree at the University of Illinois in Chicago and has degrees in anatomy and physiology from UC Berkeley, and he brings prestigious credentials to the center. Dr. Steinke is a gifted physician and contributor to orthopedic textbooks. Call 618-242-3778 or visit their informative website at orthocenter-si.com.
I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers with a look at your next round weather. For today, it's going to become windy and warmer. Clouds, breaks of sun, a high near 70. Breezy and mild tonight with plenty of clouds and a low of 51. Sunday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a high at 68. The outlook for Monday, times of clouds and sun, warm. Just a shower or thunderstorm in the area. A high temperature Monday afternoon, 71. Next round weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And we welcome you back to Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Glad to have you with us as we welcome to the program Lance Bolte is the head coach of Lady Rams softball. And, of course, Lady Rams softball this week start off the week with a nice win at Waltonville-Sesterville. You heard it on AM 940 and right here at WMIXSports.com. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. A week for the Lady Rams. It started off pretty well. You got a big 7-1 victory. You got a game in, most importantly. First game in 10 days. You had, before that, only played one game since the Fairfield tournament due to weather and illness and the like. But how did you feel to get back on the diamond on Monday? It was a chilly day, but the sun was shining, and you got a big win to boot.
Yeah, Monday was a good way to start the week. Thought the girls played pretty well. Waltonville's a good team. I know they're, them and Chester, they combined. They're a 2A school. But they play a lot of the bigger schools, and they're a good team. They had a good pitcher throwing for them Monday, and I just thought that, our girls came out, and we scored. We didn't score a lot as far as putting a lot of runs up in an inning, but we did score, in 5 of the 7 innings, and just kept, pushing the issue, and I thought the girls played well. It was a cold, windy day, and they were just happy to be outside. So,
is there a sense like that when you take 10 days off in a softball season? It's kind of like starting over at that point.
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as competition is concerned, just when it's been that long, it is like starting over. I guess I just know that when you go a whole spring break and you don't get a chance to really play, it's frustrating. And I know a lot of it wasn't anything that anybody could really do about it because of the weather, but. We were happy to get out there, and I was really hoping it would, jumpstart us for the week and get things rolling. But we did get the win Monday, so that was good.
Speaking of getting the win, you jump into South 7 Conference play this week with a couple of toughies at Marion and at Carbondale. Of course, jumping into conference play, everybody knows each other very well. A couple of tough games for your team. How do they bounce back in practices this week after those games?
Interesting. Coach, you there?
No, I cannot hear you guys.
Can you hear us now? Well, we will figure that out with Lance Bolton, Lady Rams softball. Of course, they went 1-2 this week. Struggled a bit with the South 7 Conference, Marion and Carbondale, but we'll try Lance again. Lance, you still with us?
Nope. That happens.
That happens.
Hey, the cell towers right now around the area are finagling.
I didn't have a signal most of the day yesterday at the baseball field.
Something's up because I've had one issue go away and another one start coming up. So
dumb phones are fine, but smart like the data is where I'm having issues.
Yes.
That happened. Of course, Lady Rams did lose to Marion and Carbondale this week. We believe we have Lance Bolt back. Coach, you with us now?
Yeah, I'm with you. I hear you.
God bless the cell phones, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
So I was asking about, you get a big win on Monday against WSV. Then you have tough losses with Marion, a tough loss 9-6, and Carbondale 7-0. How was the team after having that win against a cross-county team and owning those girls and then coming back at practice after a couple of tough losses?
We had a really good positive practice yesterday. We did things yesterday that were better than the day before, and that's what we're trying to do right now. I really thought our defense at Carbondale was a whole lot better than what it was at Marion. We made 8 errors at Marion, made a lot of silly mistakes, and we worked really hard to kind of fix some of those things. I don't know how much time. It takes a little while to fix some of these things, but we definitely came back and played better at Carbondale. Carbondale's a good team. They don't make a lot of mistakes at all. We hit the ball hard. In fact, if you were to watch us hit compared to Marion, we probably hit the ball harder than they did. But they just know how to play the game. They know how to make plays. And anytime we get people on base, they come up with a big play. So I really tip my cap to them. And Marion's a good team, too. They played really well. We just didn't make plays. Really hurt us.
And now, if the weather holds, it's an extremely busy week for your team. At Edwards County, home against Altoff, home against Cahokia, and then a doubleheader against Mater Dei Friday and a doubleheader Saturday against defending 2A champs in Nashville. That's quite a busy week for a softball team this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. But, at least we're at home. That's so good to be at home and to finally play a home game. We're looking forward to that. And, yeah, I'm just, hey, let's play every day. Let's play every day, maybe get a practice here and there. But the more you play, the better you're going to be. You want to see that live pitching and good competition. And this is a good week as far as competition goes. Obviously, Altoff, Mater Dei, and Nashville, they're just really, really good teams. And, we want to see some good pitching and some good opponents, and it'll make us better.
And, of course, it'll kind of get the girls into the groove as well, because it's not easy just to go out there and play once in 10 days and then go into a tough conference road trip week and then really and have that rust about you. So, I mean, you take a look at the week that we had and 1 and 2, and you kind of think, man, if we could have just had a couple more games in there, maybe those are different stories. And you're going to get another conference test with Altoff on Tuesday. But Edwards County, a 1A school that, has had some softball success. Many people just consider it to be a volleyball school. But that's a good start to your week, and then you go into the conference stuff as well. And you know what? This is a nice week on the schedule, and I really think that this will kind of help get things off of the ground for your girls.
No, I think you're right. I think, just like I said, playing every day. And Albion, Edwards County there, we don't take them lightly at all just because they're a smaller school. We've already seen, going over and playing teams like Carmine. They gave us a fit, played us really, really tough. So we need to get things started off on the right foot. Have a good practice today. That's my goal right now. Just let's have a good practice this afternoon and go over and have a good game against Albion, and hopefully that'll get things really going for us again. We just want to get back on a winning streak of some sort and get the girls some confidence. I think that's a big part of it. And another big thing for us is when things are going our way, it snowballs in a positive way. But when things start falling apart, it really falls apart. And we just got to stop the bleeding when things start to fall apart. So if we can get off to a good start, that'll really help us.
Good starts today, too. A little sidetrack from the varsity. I believe the JV playing in the DuQuoin tournament today. What are they running into down in Perry County this afternoon?
Well, that was a mix-up on the schedule. They played that last Saturday. Yeah, they played the DuQuoin tournament last Saturday. I'm really happy, though, for the JV team because we've scheduled some JV tournaments. They're going to West Frankfort next Saturday for a tournament, and then to Fairfield the weekend after that for a tournament. So trying to get them as many games in as possible.
Well, and, of course, that busy week next week, which, of course, we'll have that game on Monday. We'll have the doubleheader on Friday as well, and should be a great week of softball. But, Lance, that brings us to our final question, the WMIX Sports Social Media question of the week. And can't ignore, pop culturally speaking, that it's WrestleMania weekend, so we're asking everybody who is your favorite of all time, if you have one, WWF or WWE wrestler?
Well, I guess Hulk Hogan would have to be my top just when I was a kid. I didn't get into that a whole lot. We did have WrestleMania, Nintendo game. That was about as much as I got into it. But I remember watching some of those guys when I was a kid, and he was always the one that I rooted for probably the most.
It's a good answer. I mean, the thing about Hulk Hogan is that back then, everybody knew who he was, and that's kind of,
he was the face of everything.
Exactly. Lance, good luck to Lady Rams this week. Unfortunately, Danny and I won't get to see you on Monday, but we do have somebody there broadcasting the game, but we look forward, finally, to getting to do a home game on Friday in that doubleheader against Mater Dei. So good luck to the Lady Rams.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for having me.
That's Lance Bolt, Lady Rams softball. Of course, we have him each and every week to talk a little bit of softball action here on the Saturday Sports Show, and I'm curious to see, looking at the ages,
right,
youth, kind of a mixture, a balance, a blend of peer groups here, just the types of answers that we're going to get the rest of the way.
I have an answer for you that's just come in.
Okay.
Bugs Bunny versus the Crusher.
Do I dare ask? I have
You
a
don't
feeling
remember
I
that?
know.
Cartoons?
I do, but I have a
Oh.
feeling that I know where that came
Yeah,
from.
Bugs Bunny and cartoons, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be tough because, admittedly, it's a social gathering for me. We've talked about that before.
Right.
'Cause I'm
It's
always
a gathering tomorrow night, yes.
Yes. Like, I will not have no idea what is going on because, admittedly, I have not been focused on a show probably in 8 years. But I'm there, and so I usually know what's kind of... Like, it was intriguing over the summer. But then what happens to us is basketball season hits. And you and I are probably gone every night of the week. And you remember the DVR it. I'm not that intelligent. And sometimes, and volleyball season doesn't help either because there's quite a bit of Monday night action. And that's not a detriment to our TV habits. I don't mean it that way, but it's just kind of... Yeah. That's a good question. I'm glad you came up with that this week. We have a lot of good questions on the horizon. I'm very proud of some of the stuff that's come out of your noggin. It's good stuff. On the Saturday Sports Show here, we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with Mike Cheek. We'll talk Pinckneyville Lady Panthers softball. Big win this week. They beat the Nashville Hornets, defending 2A state champs. The Saturday Sports Show is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We'll be back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
How do the best continue to get better? Hi, this is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. We're no different than any team. When you're at the top of your game, the best want to play for you. That's why, with the addition of our new shop foreman and the rest of our body shop crew, Landers now has a combined experience of over 70 years in dealing with the best parts and repair finishes on the market. This means when you walk into Landers, you can breathe a little easier knowing that your vehicle will receive the best quality repair by the best certified technicians within a reasonable amount of time. Again and again, we work directly with most insurance companies and have loaners and rental vehicles on site for your convenience. We're proud to not only be the standard, but to keep raising the bar in collision repair. Come meet the staff, take a tour of our facilities, and get to know the Landers crew that Landers Collision has so proudly acquired. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Give us a call, 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, Jerry Newman. Does State Farm offer more discounts to more drivers?
Yep, like the good driver discount.
So it's for good, but not great drivers.
No, Jerry. There's also the multi-line discount.
For calling from multiple lines while driving.
You should never use a phone while driving.
I only make calls from my car when I'm stuck in a ditch or something.
Are you in a ditch?
Yes, I am.
State Farm offers more discounts to more drivers than any other insurance company. Get to a better state.
One more reason to call State Farm agent Tony Wilton Mount Vernon at 242-1421.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski alongside with you today, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Our next guest, his softball team got a big win this week against the Nashville Hornets. The Pinckneyville Lady Panthers head coach joins us now, Mike Cheek. Coach, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. How you guys doing?
You know what, doing pretty good. I imagine you're doing very well. Big win against the defending 2A state champs today, but I mean, obviously that is not the story of your program. Much success there in Pinckneyville over the course of the past few decades or so, and things just rolling now, and that's a big win against a team that won a state title last year, and many expect them to do great things again this year. Big win.
Yeah, it was. I actually during the ball game I was talking with their coaches, telling them, this is kind of like old time softball. It's going to be a low scoring game, and it wasn't that people made huge mistakes. It was just kind of an exciting old time ball game.
Catch our listeners up on your team and your schedule this year so far. Cold weather, wet weather at times. How many games your team got in, and how's the weather been treating the Pinckneyville Lady Panthers this year so far?
Well, we've got 15 games in. I'm not going to tell you the weather's treated us very well. We played a lot of cold, wet ball games. Matter of fact, we got sleeted on against Heron in our first game of the season. But, you play through weather like that, and I really think it makes you better down the road.
does make you better. A couple of things that stand out at what makes Pinckneyville better is the fact that they host the Panther Invitational, which was last weekend or 2 weekends ago, had tournaments going on, and also the Southern Illinois Softball Showcase coming up a week from the day. Talk about those tournaments, what that means to your program, the competition level you play.
In both of those, in our tournament and in the showcase, we try to get good teams to come in here and play. And, we're fortunate that, like in the tournament, Columbia comes and plays. We were fortunate to pick up Schlarman out of Danville. They were runner-up a couple years ago in Class 1A. And, of course, we always get Carterville and Johnson City and, good programs from the South for our tournament. And then in our showcase, we got Massac to come this year. Massac County, they're very good this year. Be very good next year as well. We have Williamsville. Williamsville's come down for this for years. We're happy to have them. Teotopolis is coming. Then, of course, Johnson City's back for that. DuQuoin's coming into our showcase this year. So we have a lot of good teams coming for our showcase.
Good teams coming for your showcase. Talk about your team and specifically talk about some of the kids you've been counting on this year so far in this 2013 season.
Well, I think the first person we need to talk about is probably Taylor Howard, our pitcher. When before season started, we had about 5 pitchers who were going to be able to pitch, and we're starting the season with basically 2, and Taylor Howard and Katie Opp. And Taylor's carried the load for us. She's not a hard thrower, but she makes the ball move, and she hits her spots, and the key thing is her attitude. She battles and never gives up. And I guess right behind her would be Shersty Stanton, our catcher. She's a rock behind the plate. She's a wall. Things don't get by her, and she's a great team leader. Then, of course, Danny Schoenbacher out in center field, our other senior. She's a great leader on the team. She's a solid player in the outfield, and her hitting has she started out in a little bit of a slump this year, but her hitting's coming around about where it was last year, so we're real excited about that. Kayla Emling's been just an extremely pleasant surprise for us at third base. She was injured most of last year, and we're kind of looking for a third baseman, and we put her there, and she has just been solid as a rock. And her bat's been extremely well, great attitude. Go around the infield. Maddie Jones has been at shortstop, doing a much better job for us this year. Her hitting's been coming around for us. Jordan Whelan at second base. Leadoff hitter, slapper. She's solid. And we're playing 2 first basemen right now. Keelan Stein is a sophomore, has really nice soft hands at first base. Brooklyn Morrow, who's a freshman. She's hitting the ball extremely well for us, and she's got some nice hands at first. And then in the outfield with Danny, we have Gabby Dorfline, who usually plays right field for us. She's a solid, consistent player. And Alyssa Hirsch, she's a left-handed slapper, coming off a little bit of a knee injury, so she slowed down a little bit, but we're expecting really good things from her.
Well, I look at your schedule remaining way, obviously the Southern Illinois Softball Showcase next week. You have Benton non-conference, Goreville defending 1A state champs, Waltonville, Sester-Valier. You have Marissa on there. One thing I look at is the Mississippi Division, which, a lot of people don't understand or realize. The defending state champs in Nashville didn't win the River to River last year in the Mississippi Division. How tough is it day in and day out in that Mississippi side of softball to have to battle the likes of Nashville, Carterville, DuQuoin, Sparta, AJ day in and day out?
Well, you better bring your A game every day. I think this is a conference where we have good talent. We are very competitive. We picked off Nashville. DuQuoin's come from behind twice so far this year to win games in conference. You better bring your A game if you're going to compete. And bringing your A game doesn't necessarily give you a win because it's just very tough in this conference right now.
Very tough it is. And your team, of course, do you guys have the day off today, or do you have something else going on this afternoon?
No, we have day off today. We go to DuQuoin on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that'll be a pretty tough game on Monday.
Of course, DuQuoin, Sparta, Carterville, Pleasant Plains, and then the showcase next week, and a busy week for you. But our last question for you, and we'll let you go to enjoy your Saturday, it's our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. And this week's question, along with WrestleMania going on this weekend, is, who is or was your favorite WWE professional wrestler of all time?
WWE. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be honest. I don't even watch WWE. My wrestlers were wrestling at the Chase.
That's fine. You can give one there, too.
Oh, I'd probably have to go with the Von Erichsons.
Oh, yes. That was always a battle. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That's old-time wrestling.
That's Sunday mornings on Channel 11, eating breakfast, watching that after Tarzan. Yeah.
Oh, my. Coach, good luck with the showcase next week. Hope you get that in, and good luck to the Lady Panthers softball the rest of the way.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That is Mike Cheek, head coach of the Pinckneyville Lady Panthers softball team. Again, a win this week over Nashville, but that's going to happen in a conference like the River to River, especially the Mississippi side, where it's tough softball day in and day out.
Yeah, that's the thing is you have last year Nashville wins the state title and didn't even win a conference championship.
Right.
Because you had DuQuoin, you had Carterville, you had Pinckneyville. Sparta's been good for a lot of years. AJ's had their time in the sun a little bit, but it used to be Pinckneyville and everybody else over there on that side, but boy, all of a sudden, everybody over there is tough, and that's a 10-game brutal conference schedule that you have to deal with.
Especially, it feels like over the last 10 to 12 years, especially, it seems like things are kind of balancing out. Then you add Carterville, who has been successful over this millennium, and it's just amazing the talent that resides in the Mississippi side of the River to River Conference. And you look at DuQuoin now, getting Coors back, and once she starts to get back in the fold, you look at everybody else top to bottom in that conference, and it's just a battle day in and day out in the Mississippi. And probably, for your money's worth, 2A speaking, probably a bold statement to make, probably south of, I don't know, either way, one of the best softball conferences in the state.
And they all usually have to play each other to get out to get somewhere.
And that's the unfortunate thing, but I guess that is part of it when you try to align things geographically. On the bright side, the 3A side assignments or regional assignments are finally out for softball. Hey, all right. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk the Waltonville Invitational today with Eric Widges. It'll be softball and baseball at Waltonville High School today. It'll get started here shortly. We'll talk with Eric about that. He is the athletic director at Waltonville High School. We are Chris Hugo and Danny Zerwinski, WMIX Sports, Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We're back after these.
Learn to live healthy, learn to live well, and learn how you can live free from unexpected medical expense with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance and the Page Agency. Health insurance that covers hospital, medical, and surgical expenses offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount, too. Rising medical costs don't have to be a problem with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance. This is coverage we hope you'll never need, but you just can't be without. Call the Page Agency at 242-7000 about a major medical health insurance plan today.
Hi, I'm Elaine. I've been a nurse with Good Samaritan for many, many years. One of the best things about my job is knowing that I work for a hospital that cares so much about the community. We're dedicated to attracting the best physicians and investing in the most advanced medical technologies. Whether it's radiology, oncology, or advanced heart care, we provide some of the nation's most advanced treatment options right here in Southern Illinois. That way patients never have to travel far from their families to receive the care they need. I'm always happy when families come visit, and starting in 2013, that sort of thing will happen even more. That's when Good Samaritan opens our all-new Regional Health Center. Everything about the new center has been designed with patients in mind. It features all private rooms and family-friendly areas that make it easier for visitors to stay overnight. I can't wait to see what Good Samaritan does with this exciting new facility.
Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXSports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski. Presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Welcome to the program now. Head coach of Harrisburg Bulldogs baseball, Jay Thompson. Of course, Coach Thompson, matter of factly, basketball team wins a state championship, somewhat delays your season getting underway and things becoming fluid for the Bulldogs, but a great baseball team finds ways to win games, and that's what the Bulldogs have done thus far. We do not have
Morning,
Jake.
guys.
Good morning. There we go.
Eric
Did you-
Widges, by the way.
Oh, I messed that up, didn't I?
Yeah, you started early.
That's because, well, I wasted that question. But Eric, you live pretty well close to Harrisburg. However, that aside, live radio. Eric Widges, of course, is the athletic director at Waltonville High School. Eric, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
You offended at all, or are you doing well?
No, I'm good.
You're not
I'm
mad at
good.
me?
A lot better now that
Okay.
9 o'clock's here and the first pitches have been thrown.
Oh, man. The Waltonville Invitational Day, you have 2 tournaments going on at the same time. You have baseball and softball. How do you pull that off?
A lot of help. A lot of great people helping me. This is not an I thing. This is a we thing here. And got basically 2 managers on each field helping me out, and I just kind of watch and enjoy the day.
Watch and enjoy today. Talk about the teams that are in these tournaments this afternoon and this morning at Waltonville High School.
On the baseball side, we've got, of course, us. We've got Weber Township, and we've got Marion. They kind of told me they brought their JV team over to fill the spots. And then on the softball side, we have Galatia and Waltonville playing right now. And we have Edwards County and Wayne City playing at 10:30.
How did this come about? I know this is kind of something new, maybe new, relatively new to the schedule as far as having both tournaments on the same day at Waltonville.
This is actually, we've been doing this since its inception, having both tournaments the same day. So it kind of worked out real well. In the past, Wayne City and Galatia had brought their baseball teams, so both schools would just bring one bus over, and both schools get to play full day games. But we've had to change schedule a little bit due to some conflicts with those 2 schools this year.
As far as that goes, when you're trying to deal with 2, now one tournament's bad enough to have to deal with in one day, but when you're trying to deal with 2 tournaments, multiple teams, probably proms and school events and whatnot, how do you go about? Do you schedule things early and often and let people know, or how much input do you let other people have as far as what these tournaments are set up as?
Well, kind of what we do from year to year is kind of touch base with the schools before the season, actually in the fall. And that's the thing that with this tournament is, we've got great ADs at these schools that know it's going to be this Saturday, year in, year out.
Mm-hmm.
And they look forward to it. And we also have the FFA has a pork chop dinner the same day. So it works out well that, they get to come here and play some games. And then we feed the umpires and the coaches over there at the FFA pork chop dinner. But they know, and they enjoy coming here because they know they're going to get some quality games here in baseball. On a day like today, with the weather the way it is, it's going to be great out here today.
And that's the thing, I forgot about that, driving into town, saw the FFA signs posted in the county as far as that dinner goes. That kind of goes hand in hand because you're not only helping the baseball team, softball team, but you guys are also able to help out the FFA, which is kind of helping everybody involved and multiple kids get helped out when you have this kind of thing going on in one day.
Absolutely. At a small school, we take any help we can get, and the ag teacher and I, Mr. Newberry, work together on that. Before the season starts, he'll sit down with me and say, all right, when's the tournament? And then he'll actually pick the day of our tournament for that reason. I know, Marion's going to feed their whole team over there. Galatia talked about that as well. So that's a great addition for the FFA to have that. They're talking 40 at least meals extra. They're going to be purchased over there.
Speaking of fundraising at school, upcoming in a couple of weeks, you guys at Waltonville are going to have a drive one for your school. Talk about that event coming up in Ford Square.
Well, it's something that a lot of schools have done in the past, and I think we're just kind of following suit. I know Mount Vernon's done it, and Woodlawn's done it as well. And anytime they're successful at something, you got to take a look at it and say, hey, if it works for them, why not give it a try? So we're going to have that. I think it's I don't have a calendar in front of me right now, but I know it's a Saturday. Is it the 27th?
Yeah, I think 27th.
Yep. And Saturday, April 27th. So go down there, test drive, no hassle. And then for every test drive, we're going to get a portion donated to Waltonville.
It's a pretty easy fundraiser if we've come to learn. If you can just get the people out there, it's the easiest $20 per vehicle test driven that will ever be donated to a high school.
Exactly.
And it's important up to $6,000.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, today's, the economy's starting to rebound and schools are always looking for ways to generate money. And you get something like that not only Waltonville people can do, but anyone around the Mount Vernon community can help out as well. Just go test drive, and if they don't like it, they can walk off and we get the money. So anytime
exactly.
You're not putting somebody on the spot as far as buying something they're not wanting I think is a win situation for us.
Well, and it's a great fundraiser. It's easy, and with so many schools, uncertain with the funding issue that's to come this next school fiscal year and all of the concerns with that. I mean, it's a great way to help keep sports alive and much easier, especially in these troubled times. But, Eric, our final question today, it's our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. With it being WrestleMania weekend, we want to know who is your favorite all-time wrestler if you have one?
I'd have to say Goldberg, I think. He'd be mine. I remember going over to Danny's house and watching some of those events, and Goldberg's always one that sticks out in my mind. That he played football, you could tell how athletic he was, and it seemed like he brought a sense of football mentality into the ring.
That was back.
I think it'd be Goldberg.
That was back in the day of the dawning of the Hoop Center, where the wrestling events came fast and furious over those few months, and years.
Yeah, it was fun. And he would come out and not say a word and just come out and spear him, as he would say.
Right. Oh yeah, good times with Goldberg.
I miss the original era. Like I feel like I'm kind of like in the second generation or third generation of the Hoop Center.
Yeah.
So, oh, Coach or Eric, good luck today with your tournaments. And I know it should be a decent day for baseball and softball. You do a great job down there at Waltonville. Thank you not only for your patience today, but thank you for taking the time to join us.
Hey, no problem. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Chris, for everything you do for us.
Always a pleasure. That's Eric Widges, one of the great guys in high school sports, and does a tremendous job down there at Waltonville, and it was great to be able to have him on today. And, Drive 1 for your school events. I think this might be a Drive Smart for your school event with Lincoln on April the 27th. They usually get underway about 9 o'clock, into about 3:30, and it is the easiest money ever raised. It takes 10 minutes. You drive. You're not pressured. They don't pressure you anyway down there. But you're not pressured. You go to it's the back entrance of Ford Square. It'll be April the 27th. Drive for your Waltonville. Up to $6,000, I believe, for Waltonville High School. And it's simple. It is.
You get a flash drive, too, maybe?
We did last year.
That's what I've been getting at these events. The old flash drives and everything.
Use mine. I wore mine out, actually. Wore mine out. I need another one. I may have to go down there and just get one. And test drive for the school, obviously, because that's what you do. It's always a fun event. That's Saturday, April the 27th at Ford Square. The back entrance is a Drive Smart for your school event. Lincoln this time for Waltonville High School. Up to $6,000 can go back to the Spartans athletic programs. Almost the 9 o'clock hour here on the Saturday Sports. We're looking ever so forward to it, as we will have Jay Thompson, Mike Carrer, Chad Malavi, and John Shadowich. Jay Thompson will come first guest, top of the 9 o'clock hour here on the Saturday Sports Show. We'll take a break here in just a moment. We remind you, though, of our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. It's a good one this time. WrestleMania weekend. Who is your favorite WWE superstar? You can answer that on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports, or hit us up on the Twitterverse at WMIX Sports. I like that question.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Who's yours? While we're at it. Who is yours?
Oh, boy, there's so many. I got to have somebody that entertains as well as wrestles. The first one, there's so many. We always have our draft picks out at the house, but Bret Hart would be one, with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with Chris Jericho. It's a tie between those three. You got to have entertainment and wrestling involved. What's that mean?
No HBK?
He's all right. I'm an HBK guy.
I always thought it was a tie between him and the Hitman.
The HBK and the Hitman. There's 3 or 4 right there that, guys that can, are athletic, can wrestle, can entertain, and most importantly, talk on the mic. You got to have somebody that can do all 3 or 4 of those things. You can't have it, any other way.
Well, here was mine. I had to see these friends of mine. Good collective group of friends. They're almost a stable. They're almost kind of like the Horsemen. And in this stable, somebody already had my favorite, Chris Jericho. So I kind of had to give him up in terms of that to the senior member, which I'm still, I get it. It's all right. I'm not going to be selfish about it or mad or anything like that. But Jericho, obviously, from his days in WCW, is Lionheart. I always enjoyed him. I loved the conspiracy thing, Library of Congress. But, Austin, obviously, as a kid, just some of the crazy vehicles. I'm an over-the-top kind of guy, so I appreciate anybody that's going to drive a
Zamboni.
Well, not only the Zamboni, but the adult cold beverage truck, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Things like that. That's the type of thing that really, as a kid that I will remember. And, so I would have to say it's a tie between Jericho and Austin. Foley in '99 when he was just Mick Foley was great as well. But those are probably my two.
Cactus Jack, that persona was, Mick Foley's best one. I thought Cactus Jack. Chief J Strongbow's just been called.
Heron?
No,
gotta be not
Woodlawn.
Heron. Oh, okay.
Another one's the Miser, been called.
I used to like Gilbert.
Gilbert was a good knockoff.
Brooklyn Brawler was pretty good.
And where would we be without Vince McMahon at this point?
You're right.
Because, this guy took it to another level as the phone's just rattling through.
So give us your answer on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. You can find us on the Twitterverse as well. Just hit us up there at WMIX Sports. Answer our question of the week. WrestleMania weekend, who is your favorite wrestler? And so many good ones out there over time. Like today, if you forced me to pick today, that is tough. I don't know that I could pick based on music today. I love the Miz's music.
But like Mike Cheek said, wrestling at the Chase, I'm old enough to remember that. Go to church, come home, eat breakfast, watch Wrestling at the Chase after Tarzan on Channel 11, right before the Sunday noon movie. That was big time. Von Erickson, Ric Flair, and
if you
George Animal Steel, huge there in St. Louis.
80s, early 80s. Well, I can't. My first memories of wrestling probably are on Channel 11, probably in the late 80s. I liked Arn Anderson. I don't know why. I just always liked Arn Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
The Enforcer, the Horseman. That's pretty well all there is to it. We need to take a break. When we come back, this time I promise we will talk with Jay Thompson, head coach of Harrisburg Bulldogs baseball, and we'll even intro him properly. This is the Saturday Sports Show powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
It's the family fun weekend at the Rend Lake College Marketplace with the car show and the Plan Get Safe Community Health and Safety Fair. Don't miss it on Saturday, April 13th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. The car show is just $5 to register with trophies given in multiple categories and free to watch with hot dogs and refreshments available. The Health and Safety Fair features child safety seat checks, child fingerprinting, training on proper disposal of medications, and more. Door prizes will be given away, so don't miss the fun at the RLC Marketplace on Saturday, April 13th from 10 till 2.
Rush Limbaugh, weekdays from 11 to 2. This is AM 940 WMIX Mount Vernon, a free service from Withers Broadcasting.
Spring is here, and just about everyone wants to be more mobile. Stop by TMS Mobility, a division of the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, for all your mobility product needs. They carry a large selection of scooters, wheelchairs, and so much more. Best of all, you can rent them by the day, week, or month. The staff at TMS Mobility can take care of billing your insurance, too. TMS also carries a large selection of vehicle lifts for your scooter. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
We service a 60-mile radius area, so a pretty wide area. We service orders from several area hospitals, and we have the staff in place that really sets us apart. We have 3 respiratory therapists and 2 seating specialists to help with seating on wheelchair and power chair needs. And we just feel that we have the staff and the warehousing and the facilities in place to really set us apart from any of our competitors in the area.
TMS Mobility, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers. We'll look at your next round weather. For today, it's going to become windy and warmer. Clouds, breaks the sun, a high near 70. Breezy and mild tonight with plenty of clouds and a low of 51. Sunday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a high at 68. The outlook for Monday, times of clouds and sun, warm. Just a shower or thunderstorm in the area. A high temperature Monday afternoon, 71. Next round weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Come and take your best shot.
Wow. Saturday Sports Show. WMIX, WMIXsports.com.
Oh, yes. It's a big time of year. You got the Final Four, WrestleMania, the Masters next weekend, baseball started, NASCAR's in full swing, NFL drafts in 3 weeks, NBA starting to edge toward the playoffs. It's a huge time of year right now for sports.
Yeah, it is.
Lots of stuff going on. Keep everybody interested.
Baseball back on the TV.
Oh, that's no doubt. That's why I'm half tired today.
I am 3/4 tired because of the Cardinal game that went 16.
Mm-hmm.
Watch a DVR show after that.
West Coast, man. West Coast baseball.
They'll kill you.
I'm not in try. Give me about 2 more weeks, back-to-backs. I'll be all right. The MLB ticket, it's hard to shut that thing off. You just keep finding things to watch. The Toronto Blue Jays. I've watched them more in the first week than I think I've ever watched Toronto Blue Jays, not since '93. They're just an interesting team to watch this year. Or the Astros, who struck out 13 times in 4 straight games. First team to ever do that.
Yeah.
That watching the Astros strike out is like seeing Pujols and Josh Hamilton, not get a hit.
You knew that was going to happen, though. You know they're going to struggle. But you know, it's
hard to swing with that much money in your pocket.
Right. Very hard.
Pujols never starts out. He'll be fine. He'll get it. You watch, by the end of the year, he'll have his same usual stats. That's Albert Pujols. You know, Barry Zito went back to his Oakland A's days again yesterday. That was pretty amazing to see him throw like he did.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's on his stuff, he is almost impossible. I mean, that to me, Barry Zito is one of those guys. Is like, dang,
Barry
man.
Zito is an effective pitcher when he doesn't take 3 hours for a game.
Hey,
he is one of these slower.
Steve Traxel called and said, "Knock it off." Steve Traxel's human rain delay out there on the mound.
Yeah,
Mike Hargrove.
Matt
back
Morris
in the 80s.
was the same way.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Jay Thompson, of course, we will try to get him a little bit later on,
down.
maybe.
I think they're up in Springfield area playing some tournaments, so they may already bat on the field or whatever. So we'll see what happens.
We will. Beauty of live radio. Of course, Saturday Sports Show today. Glad to have you with us on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Chris, you go with Danny Zerwinski. Of course, we want to know your favorite WWE wrestler, with this being WrestleMania weekend. And, all right, good times. Bulldogs baseball, though, they didn't start off sluggishly. I mean, they started with Hardin County to open the year. Let's face it, their basketball team won a state championship. That's going to kind of delay your fluidity as your season starts.
Well, it is, and again, you look at the Harrisburg schedule to start with. I mean, they New Trier, Johnston City, they got a game in Vernon Hills, and then they start rolling into conference play, and you're looking at Massac County beat them for the first time in 13 years. Earlier this week, they beat Heron Thursday, beat Pleasant, actually beat IVC yesterday 12-7 as they're playing up in the Springfield area. They'll play Pleasant Plains today, and AJ, I guess, up in that ballpark or some area there. And then next week, they come out at Frankfort, at Mount Vernon, before Mount Vernon at Rent One on Wednesday, then at Murphy Friday. So the Bulldogs getting some road mileage there, even though their road trips aren't very far, up Route 45, up 34, across on 13, and across farther on 13. So it's not a lot of long road trips. It's just that Harrisburg's going to spend the next week on the road. And that game with Mount Vernon out at Rent One Park on Wednesday, really looking forward to that, because it's 2 quality programs, 2 quality coaches, and a lot of good baseball players on the field at the same time.
Well, and games that have been close over the past few times that they have played. And you think of the trips. Mount Vernon's made a couple down to Harrisburg. Harrisburg has come here. And, I think back to the one probably the most disappointing was the year that Harrisburg was ranked number 1 all year. And the Rams, I want to say it was 2010, the year the Rams went to the sectional championship against Triad. It was a 1-0 game, Rams on top. Raines came in like in the 2nd or 3rd inning and never got that one back in. And that was probably very, very disappointing. But it's always nice to be able to see these two former South 7 foes face off. And we'll get to do that Wednesday night at Rent One Park.
That's the thing. I like to see those 2 teams play, and you get to play in a facility like that. And it's one of those things where you get to go down and watch these 2 teams. Of course, Harrisburg has Ryan Roper, who's going to Illinois on a baseball scholarship next year. So it's not often you can see D1 baseball talent projects and things like that in the area. So it's nice to see that. And, we have a good relationship with Harrisburg and their teams and coaches down there as well. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, we look forward to it indeed. That'll be Wednesday night, I believe. Is it 6 or 6:30?
6:30. There's a 4 o'clock game before the Mount Vernon Harrisburg game. So I don't believe, you know how this goes. I think Marion, somebody plays it forward, and Mount Vernon's Harrisburg scheduled for a 6:30 start.
They're trying to get the games in, and that's understandable. It's a great place to play because with regard to the weather, it can dump, about 9 inches of rain.
Right.
And that still be a very, very playable surface. Obviously, it needs to dry a little bit just to get some of the moisture off. But a good facility. Rams have been able to take advantage of that facility for quite a few years now. Also, GCS Ballpark now has turf, so field turf, whatever they want to call that specifically. So the Rams will be there as well on April the 22nd. Good to see that a baseball program can get games in a facility like that. We need to take a break. In fact, we'll do that here in just a moment. We'll run down our quick schedule for next week. The Lady Rams softball team will be at Edwards County on Monday. We'll have that game for you here on WMIX. We will also welcome the Rams back to the dial on Tuesday. They'll battle the Mascoutah Indians, while Wednesday the Rams, of course, as we told you, will head to Rent One Park. On Thursday, it'll be the Cahokia Comanches coming to town with a 4:15 pregame, 4:30 first pitch. Friday, it's Lady Rams softball and a doubleheader against Mater Dei, and then it's a doubleheader on Saturday with Rams baseball as they welcome the defending 1A state champions, the St. Anthony Bulldogs. Of course, Lady Rams softball will be on the air Saturday as well on our sister station, V1047, V1047.com, barring any changes to their broadcast schedule that is subject to change, as the Lady Rams will battle the defending 2A state champion, Nashville Hornets. It'll be a state champion weekend here in Mount Vernon this coming week, and we look forward the Withers Broadcasting Dana Communication Stations to bringing you the best in high school sports. We need to take a break. When we come back, we will have Woodlawn Cardinals baseball coach Mike Kara. This is a Saturday sports show from WMIX Sports, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Do you farm or operate an agriculture-based business? Then Community First Bank is for you. Hi, I'm Steve Down, Agribusiness Lending Officer at Community First Bank. With our roots firmly planted in Jefferson County, we offer the stability, strength, and personal attention that you deserve. Community First Bank wants to be your financial partner with customized products for both your personal and farm banking needs. Stop by any of our 5 convenient Jefferson County locations to see how we can help your business grow.
Community First Bank with locations in Mount Vernon, Woodlawn, Dix, and Ina. Member FDIC, equal housing.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
I came to play. There's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees and pray. You say goodbye to the good old days. They're never coming back. Watch a few fade. I came to play. Get my dues paid. I guess you had a dream, but it can't be saved.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Busy Saturday for many of our coaches around the area today. Waltonville Invitational, of course, is going down today. Softball and baseball in southwestern Jefferson County, and should be a good day.
Busy day, but like you said, the first couple weeks, everybody beelines out to a bunch of games, and then you start looking at April, Saturdays, you get a lot of doubleheaders, a lot of tournaments. And then you have some teams that like to jump around and leave a date or two open in April. Obviously, with proms starting, it's the season of prom, April usually is, or first week of May or two. So it's a busy time. Coaches are out doing things between practices and games and whatnot. So, it is what it is on Saturday morning. We're not, they're not here for us. We're here for them.
Amen.
Kind of thing. So we're trying to help them out. And we understand if they get busy or get doing stuff, they can't talk or got stuff going on.
Well, and it's just one of those things. And next week will be even busier, of course, but we still plan to try to roll out the best lineup that we possibly can. And, we're at that time of year when, this isn't like basketball or football or volleyball or the fall sports or the winter sports where you're inside. Or with football, yes, you are outside, and cross country, yes, you are outside. There is so much more maintenance that has to be done with baseball and softball diamonds.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's up to the head coaches and their coaching staff to work those fields.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, you got to get out, you got to practice, you got to run tournaments, you have to run different things going on, and coaches, we set these things up, and they may or may not have games on the night we set them up, and by the time they get to the day, they may be on a bus somewhere, they already may be in the middle of a game they've picked up along the way, knowing the weather's going to be good and out, the weather forecast kind of rainy next week. So it's just one of those things. You just have to deal with it. You have to move on. You have to see what happens. And we understand those things because we are there. They're not. We're not the ones out here for ourselves. We're out to help them and understand that they got busy schedules.
And it is what it is. Don't forget about our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. Who is your favorite WWE superstar? It is WrestleMania weekend. That is the theme for today. Of course, we will try to catch up with Mike Carroll, Woodlawn Cardinals baseball. And the Cardinals were a team last year, coming off of a super sectional appearance, a team last year that thought, maybe if they could get the right draw in the sectional, could make it back to Rent One Park, and then kind of just came up short in the sectional. They did win a regional. And trying to, after losing some great talent last year, trying to put those pieces back together in 2013.
Well, and that's a team that last year I think had a lot of expectations, had been that Super 2 years ago or a year before that, and then last year had those expectations to kind of get back and ended up playing Goreville, not in the Super, but in the sectional semi, and Goreville came through with a win there, and I think that would be considered kind of a mild upset because I think Woodlawn had a lot of things going on, and one of those things that when they got beaten that sectional semi last year, it's like, oh, man, but a lot of kids return that with a lot of familiar names that we're used to seeing and hearing about. Logan Isaac, Matt Kennedy, Brendan Peterson, to name a few of the three seniors, Jason Hateman there as well with Tanner Hill. So you have guys that we have heard of before, and you throw in a roster, they've had a decent start to the season. So it's a Woodlawn team with a lot of experience back, just like in basketball for the spring baseball season.
Well, and exactly, and of course the Midland Trail Conference, a pretty good baseball conference in its own right. Of course, you look at the fall season, you look at the spring season, and with many of those schools, actually all of the Midland Trail schools not having football, of course, your Woodlawns and your Waltonvilles have the football co-op that might impact numbers slightly in the fall. I'm not sure how that quite works out. A question I was hoping to ask, but it's just one of those things where they're able to play in the fall, kind of get some conference stuff out of the way if they choose to do that. But then you come into the spring and you get to do it all over again. And if you love baseball, that's probably the best situation you could be in.
It is the best situation in baseball right now for Woodlawn. They're going to play Monday at Waltonville on the 8th. Actually, the 8th. Would it be the 8th? Yeah, it would be the 8th. And then they have Grayville at home at 4:30 and Galatia on the 12th. And then Lebanon at home on the 13th for the end of it out.
Of course, we do have Mike Carroll, head coach of the Woodlawn Cardinals here. Mike, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty well. We were just talking about the run of 2011 and then the run of 2012, of course, to another sectional. And after losing some key cogs, trying to put the pieces back together here in 2013. And it looks like the Cardinals are doing just that.
Yeah, we started out kind of slow this year, and we're finally getting it together. Our bats coming around, and our defense is coming around, and that's what's going to take to win ball games. Our pitching's going to be there. Going to get healthy right at the right time, right at the end of the season.
Your team the last couple of years lost a lot of talent to graduation, and they're obviously going on to the next level. Some kids are playing now, but this year's team returns some seniors and juniors that's seen a lot of experience and a lot of games over the last couple of years. Talk about your kids that you're relying on here in 2013.
Well, I got Logan Isaac, Brendan Peterson, and Matt Kennedy as seniors this year. I can't ask for a better group of seniors. They work hard. Matt Kennedy, he's still kind of beat up from the fall with that torn labrum, but he is throwing, and he'll be back towards the end of the season. Logan, he started out the first of this season sick. He's just now getting healthy, but Brendan Peterson, he's been healthy all year, and he's doing real well. So I can't ask for a better group of seniors. My juniors, Jason Hateman. And I got DJ Moore that started playing this year. He's doing real well also. Tanner Hill, he's a junior. He pitched last night against Marissa and pitched real well.
You look at your team and look in the Midland Trail Conference. It's always been well, competed in as far as North Clay, Woodlawn, amongst others, Sisney in recent years. Talk about the team or teams you think have a shot to win that conference this year.
I think North Clay, they're always going to be up there at the top. North Clay's got a lot of talent. Weber's, they are. Sam's done a good job out there. He's got some good pitching, and like I said, Sam's doing real well with that team.
Looking forward, and this is like down the road, looking forward to postseason, a little different route for your team this year. You don't go south and feed into the Marion Rent One Ballpark Super Sectional. This year you go to Oakville with the likes of Marissa Coulterville, Oakville, Valmeyer, Jabot. That's a little different look for your team than a route traveled in the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I think we're up for the challenge. it's we always want to do something different. This team is no different than the teams we've had in the past. I said they're up for the challenge.
Looking at your schedule, up for the challenge, you usually have your conference games, but you've also sprinkled in Hamilton County, Oakville, Mater Dei. You have DuQuoin Carmi on there as well with Goreville, Salem on there, a 2A, 3A kind of school. This is one of those things where you have taken your team. Obviously, the competition last 2 years, it's obviously helped on the baseball diamond playing these bigger schools.
Yeah, that's what we decided. Me and Coach Whistle, we decided we wanted to play bigger schools, and he's our athletic director, and he got them for us. And it makes the kids a lot better when you play bigger schools. I'm not saying nothing against 1A schools, but when you play the bigger competition at the end, it makes you better.
Of course, much success with the men's basketball team. How has those expectations of success in Western Jefferson County, how has that kind of helped propel the baseball program as well?
Well, it's helped. I mean, it's a hard act to follow sometimes, but it has helped us quite a bit. I mean, these kids are competitors out here, and they always want to win. And like I said, we started out rough this spring, but we're turning it around, and they're competitors. That's what I like about them.
Hey, what we like about having you on is we always get to ask our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Our final question, this week's question is, who is or was your favorite WWE professional wrestler of all time?
Oh, Harley Race.
Nice.
Yes.
I was wondering if he'd come out today.
Yep, Harley Race.
Great answer. Very good answer. Coach, I know it's a busy time of year for everybody involved with spring sports. Just want to take the time for joining us today and allowing us to get to know the Woodlawn Cardinals of 2013.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on.
Always a pleasure. That is Mike Carrier, of course, head coach of Woodlawn Cardinals baseball. And the Cardinals sectional runs the past couple of seasons. 2011, they win the sectional, go on to the Rent One Park Super. Last year, come up short in the sectional semifinals, but trying to put it together again here in 2013. And no reason to think that if the Cardinals can put a solid run together over the last stretch of the season, they couldn't maybe make another run.
It is 1A. It's a tougher trip, maybe, to go over there on that side as far as Oakville and Jabot. Jabot's pretty good in baseball this year, but it's one of those things where you got experience, you have things going on, you're going to be able to get something done maybe.
Well, and there's quite a few 1A teams in this area that could get something done. And you look at Woodlawn, you look at Sam Root and the Weber Trojans, and look at the schedule that Weber has put together. And we talked to Sam last year, we talked to him this year about how they've really tried to beef up that schedule, and they are hosting a regional this year. Congratulations again to them. But it's just intriguing how things. The thing I like about spring sports is that the matchups, and every sport has matchups. You have matchups of lines in football, things like that. You do have, your matchups in basketball, who's going to guard who's going to try to contain who. But the thing I love about baseball and softball is there's a matchup every at bat. Again, it depends on the pitcher, who had a great day on the hill, who had a great day in the circle. And that's the success that depends upon that is just amazing. And that's what makes it fun on a day in and day out basis.
That's what it is, spring sports. If the weather holds out right, you get a bunch of games in, and you get to play different people. And a lot more different in spring, a lot different, I should say, because the fact that teams are more willing to play other schools, bigger or smaller than them, it doesn't hurt them as much.
Not at all. And speaking of not hurting as much, we need to take another break. That won't hurt at all. Saturday Sports Show is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
When we come back, it is Chad Malavi, Nashville Hornets baseball. Back after these.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXSports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
How do the best continue to get better? Hi, this is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. We're no different than any team. When you're at the top of your game, the best wants to play for you. That's why, with the addition of our new shop foreman and the rest of our body shop crew, Landers now has a combined experience of over 70 years in dealing with the best parts and repair finishes on the market. This means when you walk into Landers, you can breathe a little easier knowing that your vehicle will receive the best quality repair by the best certified technicians within a reasonable amount of time. Again and again, we work directly with most insurance companies and have loaners and rental vehicles on site for your convenience. We're proud to not only be the standard, but to keep raising the bar in collision repair. Come meet the staff, take a tour of our facilities, and get to know the Landers crew that Landers Collision has so proudly acquired. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Give us a call, 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Saturday.
The kids love this guy. All the kiddies do.
Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. You mean John Cena or our next guest?
Either one's fine.
He is the head coach of Nashville Hornets baseball, Chad Malavi. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
You know, doing pretty good. Trying to have a little bit of fun here in the studio today. It is WrestleMania weekend, of course, and we are somewhat, I guess, fans, I suppose, here in the studio. But, Coach, also fans of Nashville baseball and in our backyard, the Hornets, and a very, very successful program in Washington County, and you guys are trying to put together a nice little run here in 2013.
Yeah, we are. We got off to a little bit of a rough start, but we started getting it together this past week, so we're playing a little better baseball now.
A little bit better baseball in the Mississippi division. That's got to be hard to do at the likes of Carterville, Pinckneyville, DuQuoin, and that when those and yourselves of teams that haven't had lots of postseason success.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough conference, but that conference kind of prepares you for the postseason. You know, lately we've ran into some buzzsaws in the postseason and just some hot teams that have knocked us off. And we've had some awfully good squads that we, were hoping to make deep runs, and unfortunately we just didn't get it done. But everybody knows, that the baseball fan, it's all about being hot at the right time. It really doesn't matter what you got. If you're hot, you're hot.
Speaking of that, talk about some of the kids you've been out there, sending out there every day to try to get some wins here for your Hornets team.
I've got 3 seniors on the program. One is Dylan Fullerton. He's been doing a great job pitching for us. He's not a shutdown pitcher, but he throws a ton of ground balls, and he'll get you 4, 5, 6 strikeouts a game and keep you in it. So he's doing a good job. And then another senior is Brock Weebles. He's our number 1 catcher, but he's so athletic and versatile that as our position players have been taking the mound, I kind of moved him from behind the plate to fill in, so one day he might be at short, next day he's at second, then he's manning center field, and he's just kind of a do-it-all player for us right now. But what's nice is I've got a junior catcher and a sophomore catcher that are right on his heels that are better than a lot of catchers we've seen this year. So that's probably our biggest depth is our catching.
Speaking, I look at your schedule. Obviously, conference play one thing. You have Centralia, Mater Dei. You have this team from Althoff on the schedule. We talked to their head coach last week, and he kind of gave us a scoop on you on what goes on, how things go with Nashville baseball.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know he talked to you. Yeah, that's a brother-in-law of mine, and he does a great job over there at Althoff. And I think he's been frustrated maybe the last couple of years that they haven't been the team he wanted them to be, but I think he does a great job. And that's a nice little rivalry for us, rivalry game. And, we enjoy playing them, and that's not, it's not a priority on our schedule as conference play is, and our SIRR, that's a Monday, Tuesday, Friday schedule, so that's a load in itself, taking away your 1, 2, and 3 pitcher. And then, a lot of times we have to throw off against. We have to throw our 4 or 5, and he doesn't pull any punches. He goes after the jugular trying to beat me, and we've had some good battles. In the last couple of years, we've been able to get the best of him, but I think there was a little stretch there, 4 or 5 years, where he stuck it to us.
Well, we'll talk to him in a couple of weeks. Mount Vernon makes a trip to Althoff in a couple of weeks. But back to your team. We'll take care of him for you, don't you worry. Your team gets away from to the Redbud Regional, Trico, Chester, Redbud, Sparta. And then you have an opportunity, if you can pull that off, to play in your own sectional. Has that been bandied about lately as far as, your team or talk with your team that, hey, down the line we have an opportunity to maybe get a sectional at play in a sectional game at our place?
Yeah, we have talked about hosting a sectional and how that's not a good feeling to watch other teams play here and not be in it. So that's one of our goals is building for that. And we tried to preach that with some of our early season losses. Is we're not playing for now. We're playing to get better so we can advance and give ourselves a chance. Because any team likes home field advantage, but we like playing in our Hornet field. And our regional's kind of up for grabs because I don't think anybody's a real powerhouse there, and I don't think any team really stands out from the rest of the pack there. Honestly, I think we're a very average team, and right now the hot team there is Redbud. Chester's got a Caleb Arbiter's his name. He's averaging 10, 11 strikeouts a game. So, that's baseball.
One thing that you guys do with your schedule that I love is the creativity of it. You have Rockford Lutheran come to town. They'll usually open up the year. You'll play a couple against them. Oakville comes over to play them. You do a lot of triangulars, and you get games against great competition that way, and I just think that's a creative aspect of the Hornets baseball schedule. I think that's astonishing.
Yeah, well, thank you. Coach before me set up some of those, but a lot of them were double headers, I guess. We always played on Saturdays, but as soon as I was able to get the reins here, and I switched a lot of triple headers because I think teams just kind of lose focus when you're playing the same team twice, and we already play everybody twice in our conference, and there's no reason with the schedule set up for 35 games. We don't need to play non-conference teams twice. So, we do try to bring in some good teams. One of the big ones, our Wednesdays are usually Althoff, Mater Day, those non-conference games that we mix in, and we know we're going to have to fight with our 4 or 5 on the mound. There's going to be some action in the field, but our fielders like it. Our team likes those challenges. And then, back to the triangular thing you mentioned, T-Town, we were able to get them on the schedule and shoot. They're the perennial powerhouse of Illinois. You don't call them Southern Illinois, but they're a great program, and we enjoy playing them, and that's always a tough one for us to get.
I think that's an excellent point you bring up. And Mount Vernon had a doubleheader last week, and the first game went 9 innings. Second game was competed all the way to the 7th. I mean, it was a great game. But it seemed to me, like you said, teams kind of lose focus when you play somebody back-to-back, especially in this day and age, everything that goes on. Everybody needs something quick now and right at them. When you set up your schedule, do you specifically try to keep things the same, or each year are you looking forward to trying to get somebody else and or play somewhere else, like Rent One Park or GCS in Fairview Heights? You guys look for that, or do you try to keep same thing every year?
I don't know. That's kind of a gray area because we're always looking to add new people, but seldom do we. It seems like we do a lot of small talk when I go to some baseball conferences and clinics, and you'll meet a new coach or you'll hear of a good program that you really like to get on and play, but sometimes those dates just don't work out. But so, we'd like to play a few more places. I guess I'm probably pretty bad at trying to find a game as far as going over and playing at Gateway or playing down at, the Miners Complex. So,
hey, we got a good question for you to end up. We have our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week, and this week's question is, who is or was your favorite WWE professional wrestler of all time?
Oh, man. Well, I have 2 sons, and we're wrestling fans. Okay, we have some battles at home for our fake belt. So, boy,
Wayne Harry can't be an answer.
Yeah, that's who came to mind actually. But I might say Andre the Giant, man. What a legend, and all the stories. And I read his book, and got to go with Andre, man.
There's a lot of stories about him away from the ring, about feeding and drinking things.
Yeah, there is.
Heard those same stories about Bo Meyer, though, so it's okay.
Yeah,
he will not like that. Whoops. Coach, obviously we want to thank you for taking the time to join us today here on the Saturday Sports Show, and good luck to the Hornets the rest of the way, and hopefully we can check in soon.
Okay, hey, thanks. I appreciate you guys thinking of us. I do.
Always. That is Chad Malavi, of course, head coach of the Hornets baseball team. And
Andre the Giant.
Whoops.
Yeah. See, my question would be: we talk about Andre Giant's one sit down. How many courses he could eat? I would maybe subject that to the same line as how many peanut M&Ms Bo eats in one baseball
and that's
game.
where I was going with that.
Yes.
But it just did not count. That was an open mouth insert foot moment, and hopefully Bo Papa's not too upset about that.
If he is, he'll take care of you Monday here at work.
It'll be noted and done. Oh, man. We have plenty to talk about. We'll get to the details of Sesterville-Waltonville track here in just a moment with head coach John Shadowins, of course, also our WMIX Sports special correspondent. We need to take a break. When we come back, it's Sesterville-Waltonville track. We'll get to the details on that. Powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals. Pekin Insurance.
I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers with a look at your next round weather. For today, it's going to become windy and warmer. Clouds, breaks of sun, a high near 70. Breezy and mild tonight with plenty of clouds and a low of 51. Sunday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers and a high of 68. The outlook for Monday, times of clouds and sun, warm. Just a shower or thunderstorm in the area. A high temperature Monday afternoon, 71. Next round weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXSports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Our next guest, you may know him best, is our WMIX sports correspondent. The music's still going, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. It's still there.
St. Louis, and got to.
Yeah, Kirkwood. He is the head coach of Central-Waltonville Track, Coach John Shadowins. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Long time no talk.
No kidding. It's been too long.
How are things going in spring track for the SVW boys?
We've had an outstanding start. We've got pretty good numbers this year. We got 15 kids out, which is a couple more than we usually have, and they're working hard. They've got a great attitude and ready to get rolling.
Speaking of track is one of these sports that, when you get in the spring, obviously track is individual, track is effort, track is on them. You as a coach see it every year in coaching when you get to spring track. How hard is it, especially with looking to graduation, to try to keep them focused on track up into and after graduation to keep them in that track season?
Well, it's spring sports. You got to make some concessions because people just don't put the emphasis on the spring sports they do on fall and winter. A family wouldn't think usually of taking a vacation during football season or during basketball season, but families do all the time in the middle of track season. On spring break and whatnot, go on little trips. And I think that, you have to, as a coach, you have to understand that and make some concessions there. As far as keeping them focused goes, it's tough. Springtime is when they have the field trips, and, graduation's on the way, prom season, whatnot, plus spring fever. You got that going on as well. But you just try to have fun with it. I don't think that you lose as much sleep as a track coach as you do as a football coach or a basketball coach, but you make those concessions and you do the best you can.
You do the best you can, and I shouldn't say you specifically, but Cessna-Valera-Waltonville Co-op, the years now, almost 20 years in track. Talk about that co-op, and then also talk about the kids you have on your team this year that'll be running for the Red Devils.
This is a situation where the co-op doesn't hurt us at all as far as classification goes. The bottom 50% as far as enrollment goes in the state will go Class A, and taking on Woodlawn is not a problem there at all. We're going to be Class A either way, and we've had some nice Woodlawn kids come down, nice talent. We've had some good distance runners from Woodlawn, and then look forward to working with those kids in the future as well. This year, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll ask if you're done. Go ahead.
Okay. This year we have some middle distance runners this year. I'm excited about. They ran some 4x8s and 4x4 races last year and competed with some pretty good schools as sophomores. And our 4x8, 4x4 teams should compete with the big boys again. They're juniors now, and they're bigger and stronger. And I like the way they look. And then Tyler Baxter in the pits, long jump and triple jump. He's a very good black diamond athlete. He's been jumping regularly over 20 feet in practice, and in the long jump. So I'm looking forward to see what he does as well.
Looking forward to the postseason. I know that's a long way down the road, over a month away at this point. You're assigned to the Fairfield sectional, and I got to ask this before we talk about teams and that. Is there a point where the IHSA is going to have to come in and probably, we'll dissect football later on, but track is one of those where they're going to have to really take another hard look as to who they have teams competing against as far as track goes in both boys and girls sides?
Yeah, maybe. You look at, our situation. We're, in Class A, we're going up against, a track powerhouse in Heron and people like Harrisburg, who are quite a bit bigger than us. And people at face value look at that and say, oh my gosh, a school 3 times bigger than you, that couldn't be fair. But the problem the IHSA would run into is if you went the thirds, 33% in each bracket would be that the bottom third, the 1A schools, then a lot of us can't field a whole track team. A lot of us will go into a track meet, and we're not going to enter every event. With my 15 kids this year, I can enter every event. But not all schools our size. We're talking about kids, schools like CZR and Johnson City, Hamilton County, people like that. We don't always enter every event. So you're looking at a pretty sparse field as far as 1A goes if you did that. So I think 50% is probably the way to go, even though it looks unfair at face value.
And that leads me to my next question, because people look at track and say, yeah, you send guys and gals out and they run crazy. Okay, you bring up a great point. There is some finagling and some strategy involved in this. We've talked with Andy Salone before about this, the Benton girls coach, where you as a track coach have to not only be thinking during the season, but before the season as far as what events you're going to go after based on how many kids you have, where you can put them to try to win a sectional and or advance kids to the state meet at Charleston, don't you?
Yeah, it's really interesting, Dan. A track coach's job is done almost entirely in advance. You don't make a whole lot of game day or meet day decisions as far as that goes. Putting together a track meet with your team is a lot like putting together a puzzle, because you've got 4 events for each kid, and you've got to consider the rest time. Just because you have a fast kid doesn't mean he's automatically going to be running the 110-meter hurdles, 100-meter dash. You can't do that. Those are back-to-back events. So you've got to have some depth, and that's a big key to winning a track meet is depth. And then when it comes to trying to qualify kids for state, that's a whole different animal. Sometimes you try to qualify as many kids for state as you can and sacrifice maybe winning the sectional meet or whatnot. But it depends on what the coach's goals are and what he thinks the potential of his team is.
And also, a next question is, you have to have the right group of kids or kid that wants to sacrifice maybe an event they do a little bit better, but to help not only them, but maybe teammates and or the better of the team to advance in postseason, don't you, in this case?
Well, I hope my track team is listening to you right now, Danny. We had that conversation yesterday. Every kid has, their favorite event and events they feel confident in, but we talk all the time about sacrifice and for the good of the team and, and running in relays to field the team so we can score points. That maybe it's not your favorite event and certainly not your best event. You've got to tinker early in the year and see what combinations work the best and whatnot. And the kids have responded well to that.
Okay, now we got track talk. When are some of the home meets coming up for the SVW Red Devils, where people can get out and see those guys run?
As far as home meets go this year, Danny, because we are one of the few dinosaurs left standing without an all-weather track, we discontinued the Red Devil Invitational this year. It's the first year in a long time that we haven't hosted a track meet. We went ahead and gave that meet to Johnson City, who have that brand new awesome facility. So we're not going to host one this year, but we're in action at least 2 times a week from now up through the 3rd week in May. So plenty of opportunities for people to get out and see them play.
All right, now we got track out of the way. Let's talk football. Got the draft coming up 3 weeks from now. Everybody's getting hyped on the NFL draft. Are you a guy that sits there and reads and watches all this stuff, or are you just a guy that sits down and watches the draft that night?
Well, I do a little bit. I'm not a big pass at the draft guy on NFL Network and a draftnik where I'm trying to make up my own mock draft. But I do find it interesting. Of course, I have a few favorite teams that I like to watch because I'm intrigued by their team building and like to see what they're going to do, what people think they're going to do. But I do enjoy the draft at night, and it's a fun time.
Your first love, obviously, high school football, probably college, but high school. 2013, have you been keeping up on anything new in the off season going on as we look forward to the fall with high school football going on?
I think about it every day. I was just last night. I was going back through the old threads on IHSS from 2012, and just seeing people what they had to say near the end of the season and what folks have coming back. And I just love it, and I have been keeping up with it. But I just can't wait for August to get here. That's the way it's strike season right now. But football's my first love, and it's a year-round thing for me.
Is this something the IHSA is eventually, and I still say they are going to, are they going to have to eventually step in and straighten out some scheduling kinks? Obviously, conference in the Black Diamond, as of right now, knock on wood, everybody's going to have football in the near future. But is that something the IHSA is going to have to step in and do? Because now we hear schools are having trouble finding games in recent years, and schools are now playing each other twice just to have a game. Is that something the IHSA is going to have to look at to try to keep the current system of football going in the state?
Yeah, it might be, because, one problem are the super conferences. Whenever, like the Black Diamond, when they closed up a few years ago, that really hurt a lot of schools around, the Cahokia, for one. You've got Carlisle now, who used to count on playing a Black Diamond school or two for a non-conference game. Now they've got to play a Benton or play a Wood River and people like that are a lot bigger than them. And then you've got the travel issues. You've got Mount Vernon, a couple of years ago had to travel to Ohio to find a non-conference game. So it's a problem, and it's maybe a revamping of the way playoff teams are chosen, because the super conference deal, Black Diamond gets a 5-4 team in every year, maybe 2 5-4 teams. And for the most part, and I think the Black Diamond coaches will agree, they don't belong in the playoffs at 5-4.
Well, we will look forward to that as August comes around, and you'll be our sports correspondent again, because I'm sure you're going to have about all kinds of games figured out where to go. But before we get to that point, we have to ask you, as you know, our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. And being that WrestleMania is this weekend, our question is, who is or was your favorite WWE professional wrestler of all time?
WWE. Well,
it could be anybody, yeah.
I'm not sure if wrestling at the Chase counts. Does that count?
Yes.
Yes. That's more my era. But I used to like the Funk Brothers, Dory and Terry, and I used to like Ted DiBiase before he was $1 Million Man.
Okay.
Nice.
The Funk Brothers weren't ones to mess with. They were always battling with the Von Erichs,
You're right. I like him too.
Solid
I love
stuff.
to hate Harley Race.
Nice.
What did Harley Race ever do wrong?
He was a very dislikable character for me.
Oh, man.
Coach Shadowins, always a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today, and August can't get here quickly enough in that regard.
Hey, I hear you, man. We'll see you.
We'll see you. That's John Shadowins, head coach of SVW Track, and not trying to discount the spring sports, but just a fun football mind to pick the brain of each and every week, and we look forward to him rejoining us in August.
Yeah.
As we start to talk high school football then. Of course, sports don't take the summer off. We'll be here all summer long and have some exciting things coming your way. At least we hope. We're trying to put some things together this summer. Futures. Anyhow. That said, believe it or not, DC, we still have one more break to take here on the Saturday Sports Show. It is WrestleMania weekend. Don't forget you can chime in on Facebook and Twitter with the discussion of today's WMIX social media question of the week, which is, who is your favorite WWE, WWF, just whatever, wrestler, whatever you want.
Professional wrestler
sports
in general,
entertainer, superstar, along those lines. Saturday Sports Show, however, is powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend that time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital with our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge. The entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com/faster to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Response has been overwhelming to scheduling your service appointments online at FordSquare.com and KingCityChrysler.com. Hi, Roy Schmidt, President at Ford Square and King City Chrysler Center. We love that you've taken to our websites to schedule your service appointments and are always trying to find ways to make our service departments more convenient for you. Now, we're proud to offer express lane fast oil changes and more at King City Chrysler Center. This means you can stop in when it's convenient for you without an appointment. We're even open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon. Don't wait until it's too late to find out about vehicle problems. Come in for a quick express lane oil change and you'll get a free top-to-bottom vehicle inspection. It's the worry-free way to keep your vehicle running smoothly. Come see us at King City Chrysler Center for quick, convenient service, now open Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
You know, the whole point of those is so that they get amped up before they come out, obviously. And I don't know how the Hitman's team cannot get somebody amped up. But Saturday Sports Show rolls on as we have our final segment here, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Oh, plenty of details to run down today. Of course, with our broadcast schedule for the next week, and the Hitman's going to play in the background. That's just all there is to it. We're letting it run the entire minute 9 that it has left. Busy week. Lady Rams softball on the air on Monday. Edwards County is where they will travel. 4:15 will be your pregame on WMIX. Josh Baxter will have the call of that one. Our good friend from our sister station in Mount Carmel, Wing FM and WVMC. Tuesday, we are back at it. Of course, we are on assignment Monday, but Tuesday we're back at it with Rams baseball hosting Mascoutah. Rams will try to get back the loss on the road last year. Wednesday, the Rams will travel to Rent One Park. We'll have that game for you as well as they will battle the Harrisburg Bulldogs. 6:15 approximate pregame time here on AM 940. Then on Thursday, the Rams will welcome the Cahokia Comanches in South 7 Conference play. We'll have that game. Friday, we head to the Cusimano Sports Complex as the Lady Rams will return home. They will play the Mater Dei Knights in a double dip. We'll have that game for you. 4 o'clock, your pregame for Game 1. 4:15, your first pitch. And then another doubleheader on Saturday as the Rams will welcome the St. Anthony Bulldogs for 2, the defending 1A state champions. Of course, on our sister station, V1047 and V1047.com, you will get to hear the Nashville Hornets and Mount Vernon Lady Rams on Saturday for a doubleheader, as it's state champion weekend, apparently, here in the King City on Saturday. So that should be an interesting week, but, ow. I didn't feel good. I just banged my finger really hard on the mic, and you could hear it, too. That's not good. But anyhow, all in all, should be a great week for us, of course, at WMIX Sports. All of our games are broadcast online at WMIXSports.com, where we later also have the archives of each and every local sports broadcast. But WrestleMania weekend, we went over our answers. You can chime in as well with our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Hit us up, Facebook.com/WMIX Sports. We're on Twitter as well, at WMIX Sports. High school baseball, high school softball, well underway. Track going strong. Boys tennis, girls soccer. It's that time of year. I mean, it's easy to forget how crazy spring is.
It will get busy quickly, and you throw in the fact that this is April 6th. You know, you're going to be in the middle of April next Saturday already. And then, about a month from then, most schools start letting out because, some schools let out another. Obviously, you're going to run into graduations, you're going to run into proms, you're going to run into field trips and things of that nature. School year starts winding down. And, second week of May, 1A, 2A regional start for baseball, softball. You have tennis, soccer, and everything going on about that point. I mean, when you think about it, there's really only about a month left in the season for everything before postseason starts the second week of May and rolls through mid-June for all kinds of sports.
Yeah, it is. And press release just sound, I see.
Yeah.
From our good friends at one of my favorite venues. Anyhow, it's been an exciting Saturday. Would have loved to have been able to catch up with Coach Thompson, but Harrisburg, they're in the Springfield area today.
So there's a good chance by the time, since we've talked to him, that he may have picked up an extra game. They could be on the field already doing things.
He might be helping them work on the field up there.
There's no telling.
Right. So, I mean, it is a thrill to have him on it, but we'll try to see if we can't make that happen again. And, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. This is a different animal this time of year. I mean, it's not as easy to catch people on Saturdays, but we thank everybody who takes the time to join us and those who are willing to come on the show. Obviously, we're going to have another lineup for you again next week, the week after that, the week after that, the week after that. I'm told we don't take summers off. Sports do not take the summers off, so therefore we will talk sports over the course of the summer. We'll be with you every week, 8:08 until 10 o'clock right here on WMIX. It's pretty well going to do it for us this week. Final Four weekend. Major League Baseball well underway now. You have the Masters next week. So as far from a national sports standpoint, Danny, it's just as busy.
Yeah, it's just busy. I mean, it's a national sports-wise, it is very busy. We also have college football teams going through spring practice drills and whatnot. And then, as we mentioned on the pro side, the Masters is next weekend, Final Four this weekend. NASCAR is back into it after Easter weekend off. Back into it being the emphasis with certain drivers after each other. Joey Logano, you're on the list. Major League Baseball is kicked off. We're a week into more of the season now. That's going on full and strong. So, I mean, it's a very nice time of year. You throw in high school sports, college baseball and softball going on with track. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's a busy time. And as a sports person, you got a lot of things, ending, but a lot of things beginning as far as like basketball goes, because you'll straight from basketball, college will end this weekend, and then you'll go into the NBA playoffs.
Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Learned that in 1997. But anyhow, it's that time of year, and of course, probably the most underrated time, especially on the high school sports calendar, I think, just because the weather will start to become a little bit nicer, we hope. We hope we have a little bit of spring in between winter and 150-degree weather coming in over the course of the summer months. But all in all, another Saturday sports show pretty well in the books today. And, of course, you can find our broadcast schedules online at WMIXsports.com. We hope you liked our lineup today. Of course, John Shadowin's always a great interview. Chad Malavi, we thank him. Mike Carrer as well with Woodlawn Cardinals Baseball. Eric Widges is a dynamite athletic director there from Waltonville. He took the time to join us today. The Waltonville Invitational going on right now, softball and baseball down there. If you're looking for something to do today, smaller school baseball and softball, to me, that is one of the better tournaments in the area. It's easy to get to. Easy to get to, plus the FFA having a pork chop dinner there as well today. So that's if you need something to eat and want to help a worthy cause, that goes on there as well. So you got baseball and softball there at Waltonville, some smaller schools playing Class 1A, 2A variety. Good chance for everybody to see every team of that level if you want to on this, what's going to be probably the best spring day of the year so far, even though the wind's going to kick up. Well, the wind is going to kick up. Don't burn anything would be my advice for you today. That's also the advice from NOAA and the National Weather Service as well. So that is great advice to take into consideration today. But all in all, I mean, it's just a great day to get out there and do something, choose something with your day. And, of course, 2 weeks from now at Ford Square, it's a Drive Smart for Your School event for the aforementioned Waltonville High School. It's the easiest $6,000 you can ever help raise. You just go test drive a car. You fill out a feedback form. You usually drive with a parent or a coach. You don't even drive with a salesman. Not high pressure over there anyway. But especially, if you like a car that you've test driven, sure, you can go talk to one of their associates. But, I mean, it's not mandatory. It is not required. And so it's an easy way to raise $6,000 for Waltonville High School from Ford Square and the Ford Motor Company. Test drive and $20 on a Lincoln motor vehicle or a select Ford model will go back to the Waltonville High School, up to $6,000. It is so simple and such a success for Mount Vernon. It's been a success for Woodlawn. I believe they're having a community event for Mount Vernon on May 18th as well. So, I mean, all in all, they do a great job with that. This has been the Saturday Sports Show. Thanks. Tune in next week.